think then that means we've got just about everybody here that we're expecting. Minus Todd, which is okay. So we'll call the meeting to order at 5:37. This is our new time, so it feels a little bit weird. I will say, Mark, it does feel weird at 5:30 to be doing this.
Yeah, well, hopefully it gets us done earlier in the evening
Yes, I agree.
moving forward. Yeah.
Okay. So we've identified who's here. We have one audience member lurking, just so everybody knows. So the first order on the agenda is the review and approval of the December 1st meeting minutes.
And make a motion to approve minutes.
Right. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
I do have just two small things on the minutes, and I don't have them in front of me, but I think I can. I don't know if we actually said this, Margaret, at the meeting, but the dates of our 2026 meetings, the September meeting is Labor Day. Do we want to make a correction to the minutes and bump it back a week, or?
So we usually do make at the June meeting, we usually do make the move to move it to the meeting after the Monday after Labor Day.
Right.
Right. Would you like that reflected in the minutes?
Yeah, I think that if we could do
That's
that,
fine.
that'd be great.
Makes sense.
Sure.
And then just the other small thing, but Usha and my name are not on the letterhead for the board.
Okay, I'll speak to Lisa about that.
And then Brad's name should probably come off if we're gonna do that.
Oh, Brad is coming off.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's resigned.
And a couple of minor things, Murray, that I noticed in it. 6, which is reports, 6A. After 6A, we go to 6C. So I don't know if we missed something in 6B.
That
And
was the November revenue report and it was not available.
Okay, so that's why. And then the last sentence in 6A says, who is playing under said reservation? It should be SAID.
And I don't have the minutes in front of me. I didn't take those minutes, but what does it say, Usha?
Oh, yeah.
SED. It says
Yeah,
SED.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't
Yeah.
hear, but
That's
SED.
okay. It's just a typo.
Yeah,
It's a
it's a
typo.
typo.
a typo under
It's the
what
last
item?
6A, the last
sentence,
line.
second last word.
6A. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I got it.
Just a question. I'm looking at the dates so I can mark them down in my book. Do you not hold a meeting on in May?
We do not.
You don't know. Okay.
And then we also don't meet in July and August.
July and August. Okay. Perfect.
And then because of that shift in September to the second week in September,
Okay.
we don't meet in October because October comes very quickly.
So it would be like September 14th. When in June, when you move it, it'll be September 14th, probably.
Correct. And then the first week of October is like right there. So
Is right there. Okay.
Is that September 14th or September 8th? Labor Day is the 1st, which is a Monday.
Regardless, it's because it's a very
No,
short
but just in
span.
terms for the minutes, we're going to change the date to September
It'll be
8th
the
or
8th
September
this year,
14th.
yeah, because Labor Day is on the 1st, right?
On the
Right,
7th.
it is.
Yeah,
So
it's on the 7th.
Or yeah, it's right there.
it's the 1st
I
September.
think it's 1st this year.
September 7th this year.
September 7th is Labor Day.
Oh,
Oh my goodness. Yep, there you go.
It's late. Yeah, this year it's late.
Oh, is it late?
This is
Okay.
late.
Well, maybe I'm looking at the wrong year.
So then October. Oh, I see. Okay, so now I understand. Okay, that's fine. I just
Yeah.
learning
So
the
a couple
schedule.
of years ago, it was like all of a sudden we had one meeting and then 2 weeks later we had another meeting. And I was like,
Another meeting. Like,
So it'll
Yep.
be September 8th.
All right. So we make the September 14th is going to be the
Oh,
September.
14th. Okay,
Okay.
September
Thank you.
14th is going to be the
got
the
it.
meeting.
I want to have another correction to the minutes next month.
Okay.
perfect. Okay.
Good.
They're all good. I'll miss one, but other than that, everything looks good. So. Yeah. Cool. Okay, great. Thank you.
And I just noticed we're missing Gary Wells. Is he not available tonight? Or is there also a shift there in the RTM
No.
representation?
yeah, I'm not sure. I know I've received an email about other changes to the athletic field task force, but I don't remember seeing anything about the golf advisory board. So I'm not sure. I can,
We always enjoyed the Gary Wells
yeah,
golf advisory report in the RTM when I was in the
Yes.
RTM. It's
yeah.
entertaining. It's the highlight of the meeting, basically.
It is. He does a nice job.
He does a good job.
I'll check with Lisa or the town clerk.
Okay. Just noticing he's not here. He's usually here.
Well, the new time might have thrown him off.
Oh, that's true. Good point. Okay. So can we get a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
So moved.
A second?
Second,
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye-ish.
I hate abstaining, so I'm just going to vote.
Okay. Yeah.
Even though I wasn't here.
Actually, you don't even have to vote. So you're good. Those opposed? Nope. So minutes approved. Sweet. Excellent. All right, next agenda item, citizens petitions and comments. So Mark, Eric, we received any citizens petitions or comments?
Yeah, I've received a couple emails about the golf software,
Okay,
and we're addressing that.
okay. Perfect.
I don't have anything.
Thank you. Okay, next item, new correspondence communications, Corey or Madeline in particular, from the Men's and Women's Club.
Nothing here, no.
Okay,
I mean, just we're in the process of getting ready for our new season. Going to have a executive board meeting in February, so getting the handbook revised, looking at our season calendar. I was curious if there was anything decided about, because I missed the last meeting, about the the time for, are you looking to change the time for Saturday and Sunday for limited members at all? Moving that from 3 o'clock back at all, or the reason why I ask is because that does affect our opening and closing for our season. We have the opening and closing has always been on a Saturday, and that kind of threw us for a loop last year. So we would probably consider moving it to a Tuesday, because a lot of many of our members are limited members, so they would have to pay, right? To golf. So that became a sticky issue last year. So just looking for some information before we kind of set our season calendar. Not that we're going to do it today, but certainly are going to be doing it over the next couple of months. So people are anxious to get those dates on their calendar come early spring.
That would be, I would imagine, part of the rate discussion when we get there.
Okay, very good. And the only, is there anything else? Oh, the other issue was recruitment. So, early spring, May 1st is our deadline for kind of existing members. And of course, we have a rolling admissions, but certainly to get everybody, because we start our season in May. As far as recruitment, has there been any discussion or maybe a decision about allowing non-residents to join as season pass holders? Because we have right now 44 that are pass holders and 14 that are not. But 13 of the 14 are non-residents, so they weren't able to join the course last year. We adjusted our bylaws so that they can participate in more tournaments, but they still can't participate in the club championship or the senior club championship. So if they're not a season pass holder, so that just limits their ability to participate in all of our tournaments as members of the league. So I know that's been some discussion about whether you're going to open it up again or not.
But again, I think it's up to this advisory board.
It's not.
It's up to this advisory board and part of the discussions that are upcoming.
Okay, very good. All right, I'm jumping ahead. Just thought those are two hot
Well,
issues.
not up to this, but we would have some input
Yeah.
into that.
Okay.
There's
All right.
Madeline,
so that impacts.
So Madeline, you guys said you updated your bylaws. Was that all done? That's all done within the club, correct?
Yes.
No correspondence with the town or anything, right?
What do you mean by that?
I just mean that you didn't so we've actually had a similar conversation about the status of members in our club and whether people from that have been excluded because of the new requirements for membership status because of the residential limitation on it, and that's been something that we've discussed heavily within our club. And I didn't know if that's something that you guys were discussing. I'm just curious if, I've heard it float around that had to be discussed with other parties. I didn't know if that was something we could handle within our club. And I'm just curious, did you guys just have a vote on that and you just came to the conclusion? Okay. All right.
Yep. So that was Marie as the past president. She got together a committee to update our bylaws, and that was a big part of the reason why we updated our bylaws. Well, there was other things that it needed to be updated anyway, but that was a big initiative. That's why we I think a big reason why we did that is because there was just so much, I'm sure you're experiencing that as well,
Right.
people
We're having the same conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we want to be inclusive and we want people, so we allowed them now, they can participate in a lot more tournaments, so they were limited to many of them. So there were 3 of them that we now allow them to participate in. The only two now, so it was 5 of them. Now it's down to just the 2 that they're not able to participate. If you're not a season pass holder.
Yeah.
So it did open, it will be a great change, but there's still people, I'm sure, that would like to be a season pass holder on our, and be able to
course.
be, yeah, sure.
Yeah, we have the same issue. We've got over a dozen individuals on our front. We're having the same conversation. Just wanted the clarification. Appreciate it.
Yes, you're welcome.
So I think when the
That's-
discussion happens, the question that you guys need to be asking of this board is what will be the maximum number of season pass holders and the threshold there that needs to be kind of where that threshold is to allow non-residents who are not current season pass holders to start acquiring season passes again. We can figure out when you want to have that discussion.
Well, for us, it's May 1st is kind of our deadline. Especially for those existing members that might come back and join again, because it's on a, yearly basis. So for us, it's like, we'll probably get applications out April 1st. And we'll do a big push to get everybody re-enrolled, our existing members re-enrolled between April 1st and May 1st. So that's kind of our timeline.
Remind me again what our threshold was that we would have X number of season pass holders. I don't recall the numbers now.
I think it
At the
was
time the decision was made, we were getting really close to 500 members or pass holders. This past week, we counted the number of applications that we took in 2025, and it was 324.
Okay. Thank you.
So once we go to the council to discuss rates at that time, we could make the recommendation that we can start selling to non-residents again if they decide to allow that, now that we're at a much lower number.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
And then at that point, set a max again so that we don't push that 500 number again. Or something like that, right, Eric?
Yeah, we would just have to monitor how many are coming in. I don't think we're going to have 100 people join right away. So
Yeah.
just see how it's going and keep on top of how many. When we get a new software program, we can kind of track how many we got, how many are coming in. So
Yeah, thank you, Eric. That's helpful.
Eric, wasn't the cap 400 last year? Or
we
thought there was-
were up to like 470 something pass holders. That's why we started that whole discussion. But like, you always have attrition every year, so we went down in 2024, I think, a little bit after we did that, and then now that we weren't selling to non-residents last year, it went down pretty significantly. So I think we lost over 100 from the year before, 2024 applications.
If I recall, the last year, a non-resident who had a previous year pass could renew it.
Correct.
But and all Groton residents could purchase passes. I think the council was very clear on that. But
Correct.
it was non-residents who did not have a pass in 2024 or prior. It was not continuous, did not have a pass that they would be able to renew from 2024 to 2025. I think that was the group that particularly was eliminated from buying passes.
And Marie, I also recall there were some people who missed the deadline to sign up. When their membership expired, they didn't sign up for 2025, non-residents, and they couldn't come back and join 2 months later.
So Todd is in the meeting now. Can somebody who's running the meeting unmute him?
Him. You should have gotten a link as a panelist, though, I would imagine.
Can I now be heard?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we hear you.
Yay.
Know it.
So the benchmark as far as our discussion about membership and the moratorium on non-residents was 400, and as Eric said, we're well below that.
May I just ask a question? I know it's going to take me a while to come up to speed with all of this, but I'm just wondering, I'm looking at the information that was attached to the agenda, has the year-to-date budget report and the numbers and cost and all that kind of stuff. Are these numbers in that report somewhere? This looks like a year-end comprehensive report. Are these sort of quantities and things in that report? And that would be a good place to probably put some of this information.
Yeah, I didn't see it there. That's why I raised the question.
Yeah, the report, or one of the reports, is just revenue and expenses
Okay.
for 25, and that's generated out of Munis, which is the software that we all use. So we don't use that software to track membership numbers. That's a different software.
Okay. All right.
So
I just,
yeah, so it's not included in this report.
okay. It just sort of seems like it would fit into this report. So, it's comprehensive budgeting and all that kind of stuff. So you could kind of do a little analysis of numbers and things like that. Okay. I'll learn what all this means as I move along.
Well, moving forward, Todd could probably put together a report of with all this information.
Cool. Okay. Great. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'm anticipating questions that I would be asking later on, so it might be.
No, good questions.
It's good to get them here while you have time.
Wait a minute. What? Yes. No. No. Although they asked me for,
Lori, can you put yourself back on mute?
oh, I thought I was.
Yeah, somebody unmuted you. Thanks. Yeah, so these are all nuances of the conversations that come up about the rates and the everything else that comes along. There's a lot of detail involved in these discussions, not just what we're going to charge.
Right.
Okay. Any other comments on the new correspondence communications? If not, we'll move on to the golf course report for what we've got November, December, where we are.
No, Todd, you want to go over that?
I'll be sending for tomorrow the revenue report for the past month. I have not prepared that, so.
You want to go over the November report?
I don't have that in front of me as well.
Okay. And then, so just the only thing, so we'll make you, because you don't have it in front of you, but we seem to have lost the calendar year to date details that were used to be on the report. Did that happen in the switch?
Yes.
Okay.
So I took the season pass holder, season numbers, number of rounds and season revenue, and just did a quick math around that. Happy to share what I did if that's helpful, just to kind of stimulate the conversation around membership and membership fee discussions. Would that be helpful?
Yep, go for it.
Okay. Can you see my
Yes.
little
Yep.
Excel sheet? Okay, so these are the numbers that I took from the report. Yeah. And then what I did was to just kind of see what was our revenue per round for breaking it down by green fees, season passes, and cart revenue. So per round, you can see for this is 2025 to date, we are looking at 42 and a half, 5.5, and 18.4 for cart revenue relative to how many rounds or how many rentals there were. So I did that for each of those. And what you can see is our greens fee revenue per round has gone up, which is not surprising because the rate went up. But our season passes per round actually went down. Again, not surprising because our total number, as Eric said, was 324 now, that membership we have. So our revenue per round from the season passes has gone down 5.4 or 5.5 versus last year was 8, and for the 4-year was 6.5. Cart revenue has about stayed similar, gone up slightly, but pretty steady. Then I did took a look at percent of the total. So when you look at this is the total rounds per year for the year, what percent came from greens fee, greens rounds, rounds for greens, individuals coming in, and season pass rounds and cart rentals. So you can see that here. And if you look at that for prior year, it's very similar. 4 years, we had a little bit higher, but again, it's not that significantly different, at least in my mind. It looks about the same. Similar calculation for revenue. The greens fee revenue, when you consider, what percent of this 802 came from greens fees, was about 70%, 69%, as compared to 66 and 67. Again, not seeing a big difference. So what it's telling me is that, overall, other than cart revenue, which went up, overall, our distribution of the revenue between greens greens fees and season passes are relatively stable across the 4-year versus last year, prior year 2024 and this year. So it hasn't changed. But then when I decided to take a look at shift for 2025, how did that shift from previous year and 4-year average? And this is where you see the big difference. So season passes has gone down. Revenue from season passes has gone down by 18% relative to 2024. It has gone up relative to 4-year average. But you can see that, even the green fees has gone down relative to last year, and card fee has gone up. Miscellaneous has gone down. But that's telling me that we need to address the number of passes that we have, season holders that we have right now. So that would bump that up, and maybe it will change the proportion of revenue generated from the season pass holders. I know it's a lot of information here. I didn't know how to present it, making it simple, but.
Well, certainly that was always the tipping point. The tipping point was at what number are too many members, and when we would see an increase of membership and then experience a decrease in greens fee revenue, then that would be the tipping point. And so we're going to see we have less greens fee, less season pass membership, season pass holders. And so we will see an increase in greens fee revenue, and being that our overall numbers are terrific, we are going to see that increase in cart revenue. So, yeah.
It's a good point, Todd. And what surprised me here, and I'll go back and take a look at the numbers again. But what surprised me, if you look, we had 69% contribution to this total revenue from the greens fees, which makes sense, right? Because we were looking to target that, and as this went down, this naturally went up, right? So it's in some ways artificial, because it's one pie, and you're saying what slice of that pie is coming from greens fees. So if we decrease the season pass holders, we'll naturally increase the greens fee contribution to it. Your point is well taken, that there's a tipping point at which we start going down on greens fees. However, so long as this number goes higher, because this is at 8%, which is quite low, and this was at 11%. Now the rate was different. In 2024, we had a lower season pass rate. So even with a lower number, we only dropped by about 3%. So the point that we discussed earlier, if we bump it up to maybe about 400, this number should go up, and this total revenue should go up. So this number should be higher than the 11% that we had in 2024. And this number may go down, but it's again, it's an artificial artifact, if you will, because this is making this go down, right? It's not actual revenue going down.
It's just the slice of the pie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And that historically has been the case. I was looking for a spreadsheet, because I think I went back to 2011 and looked at the percentages of revenue and where they were coming from. And historically, greens fee revenues have been right around these numbers, and whether the number of season pass holders went up or down, the revenue from greens fees and the revenue from season passes always stayed about the same. I can't find that spreadsheet right now, but historically, what you've shown here is what's taken place over the last 15 years or so.
Yeah. And what I do want to point out, if you look at this 554, I'll just highlight that, versus the 462. So the absolute number did go up, right? The absolute number went up.
Right.
But total contribution relative to this year was 69% versus total relative contribution to last year was 66%. So
Right.
it's
Yeah.
kind of stayed steady, but the total number has increased. Why we didn't increase tremendously here is because even
the
though
numbers.
we raised the rates, we weren't able to leverage that increased rate by having few more season pass holders.
Yeah.
And that should bump us up a little bit.
Yes.
So
So if I can just ask a question, so greens fees are golfers who just walk the course, who just show
no.
up, make an appointment and walk it, and seasons pass holders are they could do anything, right?
It's not necessarily walk the course, it's people who pay as they go.
Pay as they go. Okay.
they're not
And
season pass holders.
and do you count the cart fees? If a season pass holder does a cart for that round, is that they get free cart? Is that
No,
what they get, or
no, they pay the carts as they go as well.
okay?
Mhm.
So I'm just so the cart fee, a greens fee and a season pass holder can both use a cart. So some of these things are doubling up on top of themselves, is what
The
they're
cart
doing.
is a separate fee.
A separate fee. Okay.
Yeah. So card
If
fee
I
is
could just
separate.
say, I really appreciate that spreadsheet. It makes a lot of sense and it's really helpful. I was looking at a few courses to see if they had their current rates, just poking around. But what really struck me on a few was dynamic pricing. And I thought that when we do talk about rates, if that's something we could just tip into the conversation, where dynamic pricing on off times, you lower the price a bit to try to get people to come. We've been held to steady year-round prices, and just want to put that as a little side table that we don't miss that particular point, because
Yeah.
you see
Being
quite a
used.
few courses that are doing that now with the dynamic pricing.
Before we go there, can we just go back to Bruce's kind of points and what he was trying to make? So, and to Usha, so it might be as interesting if we were to remove the carts from the revenue conversation that you were talking about, and just kind of, because the carts are separate, and just look at the greens fee player versus the season pass play as one source of revenue, and look at the percentages there, and treat the cart fees almost separately, even though they're a significant part of the revenue, just to make that a little bit clearer for folks. I think that's a good observation there.
I would probably also add a column of how many people were in that fee, in that dollar. Like if you have that information, like how many seasons pass holders on these three. I'm assuming this is 2025, 24, and 23. Is just make a column that says this was 324 players. This was 4. You could see the revenue going up and down, and the same thing on the green fees. Put the people in there. So
Yeah, but I think that's what Usha had from the top part of the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Right. The number of greens fee rounds played, the number of season pass rounds played.
Yeah. We don't have the actual number of season pass holders, but if you look at this, and
Yeah.
Mark provided these numbers. So number of rounds played that were from greens fees, people walking up and signing up to play that day, they're not season pass holders, was 13,000. Season pass holder rounds, the number of rounds, not the actual number of members, is 11,000. And we can certainly do what Margaret was suggesting, and I can do that really quickly. It's not a huge contribution. Well, no, cart fee is a pretty significant contribution.
It is.
Yeah.
But-
So that this is, and then these were the number of cart rentals that happened, and then corresponding revenue for greens fee, season passes, cart revenue, and then miscellaneous. Miscellaneous is about 1%, so it's not a major contributor to it.
What would miscellaneous, is that something purchased at the shop or something like that? Is that miscellaneous revenue? Like, do you know what that is?
But are those,
Miscellaneous revenue is certificates,
Okay. Gift certificates.
basically.
and Todd, where do
Yeah.
you account for tournaments? In greens fees?
Tournaments are an item listed. It's an item line that's listed, and so there's an accounting for tournament greens fees and tournament carts.
So in this report, do we know where it was accounted? Was it in the greens fee or season pass?
So tomorrow when I prepare the report and I send it out to Mark and he sends it out to you all, then it will be listed. But at this time of year there are no tournament cards or tournament greens fees, obviously.
Yeah. Todd, can you pull up a whole year for the tournament fees for 2025?
No, I can't. No,
For the fiscal year.
because we've had the club caddy system for like 3 months. I can't access the Chelsea data.
Okay.
So no.
Okay.
No, I can't do that.
Okay. And do we know if this was included in this revenue report?
It has
What's
not
that now?
been traditionally, no.
Okay.
Any revenue we get from a tournament gets rung into the system under greens fees and carts.
Okay,
So yes,
yeah,
those dollars will hit this report.
Okay, so it's
That's
within
correct.
okay, greens fees and the cart revenue. Okay, so
So
it's
it's included in those.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then eventually when we get there, hopefully we would be able to isolate those as separate line items. We'll make that a requirement.
Well, yes. Once we have a system that we all agree that is adequate and a very good system, then it'll start generating meaningful data for us.
Okay. And then the other thing that's kind of interesting to me, I think it's good to see that we're averaging around $42 for greens fees players per round. But for season pass holders that we're averaging $5, $6 a round, $8 a round. I'm not sure that was I don't know if that's our target rate for season pass holders.
Well, I mean, when we have senior pass holders that are playing over 100 rounds a year,
I understand.
yeah. So I mean, I don't think putting a dollar amount on that is a useful thing. The season pass holders is a category that we all decide within our market is an appropriate amount. When we have season pass holders, a category such as the senior category, deciding to play Monday through Friday. God bless them. God bless them.
No.
Playing
It's an
in the
observation.
morning. That's what we got. However, if you isolate the full membership, where we have members, season pass holders, who play only Saturday, sometimes and or Sunday, and they're working people, and so they lay down $1,900 or what have you, but they only get in 15 or 20 rounds a year. Okay, so there's the other side of the spectrum.
No, I understand that. That's the calculation I make. And so they're averaging around $100 a round and having to buy a season pass.
And they're
Just-
happy about that.
I'm just looking for clarification, guys. Where we see that it's dollars and something cents per round, that's not the entire membership base, right? There's no way.
That's the numbers that are provided the fiscal year to date. So that's from July until November.
The average member was their round cost $5.82.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I was trying to go competitive with golf for 4 out of the last 10 years. I played 200 and something rounds a year. If you average that out across, I can't remember what the membership costs, but let's call it $1,500. I can promise you right now, nobody played as much golf down there as I did. And if they did, let's call it the top 5 percentile down there. And 300 rounds a year is $5. I guarantee, just from the time I spent at that golf course, and this I think could at least speak anecdotally to our data collection process, there's no way you have that many players playing 300 something rounds a year as season pass holders to offset the amount of people that are only playing 20, 30, 40 rounds a year as season pass holders, or even 100. I just don't buy that number. That just doesn't make sense to me. If someone has any information that I might be missing, I'm happy to hear it, but that just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, Corey, it could be because it's July to November, which is sort of the peak time that most people are playing. But now when you add, as we get more data for December through March, it's going to change that number. So that it's probably an artifact again because we only have the data from the most played months.
That's fair, but even if we cut, let's say we cut it in half, right, or even down by 70%, I would heavily contest that the average member is, let's say, playing 100 rounds from what's the time frame, Usha? It's July until November.
July to November, yep.
I would highly contest that the average member is playing 100 rounds. And I still think that would overshoot $5.82. I would be very interested in what is the calculation for those figures.
Yeah.
And just the weather events alone would prohibit being able to play every, a third of the year.
Right. 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Well, if you even take 1,500 and divide it by 100, that's $15 a round. So I don't know how you get to 5, but
yeah, $5.82. I mean, guys, I'm just a guy that plays a lot of golf, but I used to play more golf than probably anybody down there. And I can promise you most people were not playing that much golf. There's very few people that were playing 100 rounds in the second half of the year. Very, very few.
So this comes directly with this calculation, right? If you divide 61 with 11, you get 5.5. Because if we have 11,000 rounds and we have 61,000 revenue.
Oh, yeah, and Usha, I want to be very clear. I don't doubt your math whatsoever. The only thing I'm questioning is the data collection process. I really appreciate the spreadsheet. You've laid this out excellently. I really appreciate it.
No, I agree with you. I think it's a question we should dig into to see, when we talk about season rounds, what does that include and not include? And as Todd said, once we have more data coming in from the new system, that should help us better understand. tease out the answers to it.
I think the skew in the data is coming from the fact that a lot more people join before July. And
Yeah,
we're just looking at July to November.
Revenue.
yeah, which
So
is
I think
why I
you
asked the
see that
20.
tip the other way if you had a full fiscal year's worth of data.
Yeah, that's a good point, Eric, because a lot of us join, February, March, April timeframe. And
Yeah, there was,
that,
I think, on April 1st that we had a huge, that held our ability to even join. It was a big
Yeah,
surge.
which is why I asked, because we used to get the calendar year, and I think the calendar year data would give us the better number.
so let's let Todd work on the report that he was working on, planning to give us for tomorrow, and that might help clear up some things. And I'm happy to send out a analysis based on that report to this group.
Okay. And we should have the June report floating around here somewhere, which would give us the full fiscal year and the full calendar year, or the full fiscal year. And then, yep, unfortunately,
Yeah,
I think we
Margaret, we can just go back into FYE 24
exactly.
and add that, from January to January of, or I guess we could go back, from January to December of this year.
Correct.
Yeah.
Corey, thanks for bringing that up. I think that's a good point, which got us to where we are now. So
Happy to help.
And Usha, just so I understand, those three, that was 2025, 2024, and 2023. Could you just put labels over the different colors of what each of
yeah,
what those areas are?
I think either Mark or Eric or Todd can tell me, because I assumed that was the label in the agenda that was sent out. I just cut and paste that.
You just cut and pasted from the agenda. Okay. I just didn't know what those.
I assumed it was 2024 prior year to date.
Can
So,
can you send me that spreadsheet?
oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Just label it so we know.
Okay. Thank you very much, Usha.
Sure.
We'll put that one to the side for right now and move on to the marketing report.
Yeah, so I have our community outreach coordinator provide this report on a regular basis just so that folks can see the changes that are taking place and the posts that she's providing. We certainly tried to step up the number of posts just to keep people, even during the off season, connected to Shennecossett. And I don't, if it would be helpful, I could have her come not to the joint meeting at the end of this month, but to the next meeting to answer any questions, or if there's suggestions on how we can change this to make it more valuable to everyone. I know she'd be more than happy to do that. But I guess the bottom line is we're trying to be more aggressive with getting information out about Shennecossett, whether it's just wishing people happy holidays or letting them know what our holiday hours are and things like that, which is things that I don't think I know we haven't done in the past.
And it looks like that Find Out Friday is you taking the lead over the Throwback Thursdays.
Yeah, Throwback Thursdays and the Wildlife Wednesdays have historically been the two biggest get the most views. Eric's got a museum's worth of old
Yeah.
photos and articles and things like that, and people, golfers, seem to really gravitate towards that, along with the wildlife photos.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Mark, does the golf course have an Instagram account?
Not its own. All of these go through.
Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Does it? Should it?
We certainly could. We'd have to get some content from Eric and Todd.
I'm just thinking it's such a key marketing tool that, and this is a big revenue generator that it should have its own marketing wing. I mean, I know it's important under the Parks and Rec, but does it have a hashtag? I'm just here on Instagram, just looking.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm not sure.
I think, again, I'm not sure all what you have. I mean, does it have a Facebook account?
yes.
Yes.
Shennecossett Golf Course.
Shennecossett Golf Course. Following. Okay.
Somebody posted about it.
Find out Friday. Yeah, all right. So you have a Facebook one. Well, you should be able to have a Instagram one then. Can be
Right, because Facebook and Instagram are tied together.
Yep.
Yep.
But your Find Out Friday on the 26th kind of broke the record book. So did the one on November 21st. You're welcome to Evie. Eric, how do you pronounce it?
Evie,
Also got quite a hit.
Is that your new puppy?
it is.
Oh, can't wait to meet her.
How are her social skills?
They're pretty good.
Good.
There's too many people in the golf shop. She gets a little freaked out.
Yeah, she doesn't like
Yeah.
me.
She barks at Todd.
Aw.
Yep. Yep.
I bark at Todd too. That's okay.
There you go.
It's with love.
That's true. That's true.
I would just a suggestion. In your description, I would just say Shennecossett Golf Course, Groton, Connecticut. Doesn't tell you where it is.
Oh, okay.
Just add Groton, Connecticut.
There's only one Shennecossett, Bruce.
There's only one Groton, Connecticut.
All right.
But location. Let people know where it is. If they stumble across it, it's like, oh, I see, it's in Groton.
Home of Bruce Jones.
That's right.
Oh, there we go. That's what we'll put in there.
And I did, relating to marketing, I did see one photo that has female golfers. So that's good. But if we could, balance age the demographics of our golfers, that would be terrific, I think, and be publicized for marketing.
Yeah, and Marie, well, I know I sent you an email.
You did about the,
Yeah, we're gonna, in the spring, talk to Sean, who is our videographer for the town, and see if we can shoot some video using a drone. We have to get FAA approval to do that, to try to get some more women in the video. That's part of the webpage.
I'll be sure to be out there.
There you go.
But Eric, nice job on the posts. And the addition of Friday, I think, is very positive.
Thanks. Denise is actually doing the Find Out Friday ones. She's got way more editing skills than I do.
You just got it. There was just a book published on it's in my other room, but on Glenna Collette, name just went right on my head, both of them, on the two of them, and they're back and forth during their pre-peak time. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
I have.
Yeah, it just arrived the other day. Looking forward to diving into it.
Should be a good one.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
All right, good.
next topic. We done with this one, so I think that'll be good. Any other comments on this? Next topic is status of goals and objectives. Oh, unless you want, I'm sorry. Total reach, new followers, new posts.
Yeah, that's just all part of the
Yeah.
marketing report.
Okay. Goals and objectives, status.
Yeah, I don't have an official report. We'll just continue to work on those that were established
Okay,
a few years ago.
perfect. All right. Next item on the agenda. New business. Any revised rates with the council edits, kind of a review of those, and then we'll follow that with the fund balance summary. So we'd asked for that.
Yeah, so these next four reports are all
Yep.
information to help in the decision-making process for proposed rates.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So these were the rates that were approved last year, what we went into the council with, or what the rates were the previous year.
Yeah, the spreadsheet where it says Shennecossett 2024 and Shennecossett 2025 is the rates were what the council approved.
Yep.
They were not the original rates that had been proposed by both the
Correct.
Golf Advisory Board and the Parks and Rec Commission.
Was that higher or lower, Mark?
Most of them, I don't think we went down on anything. I think we went up, but what we had proposed and what the direction the council gave us, we ended up reducing the rates, but they were still higher than the previous year.
Yes. So they were lower than the proposed.
Yes. And those proposals made by the GAB and the Parks and Rec Commission were based on the study, the J.J. Keegan study.
Mm-hmm. Also taking a look at the existing budget and expected revenue to make sure that we came out meeting the expenses that in the budget kind of came out at least flat during the year, so that there wasn't a loss of we didn't end up in the red.
I think for me, it's hard to wrap my head around the numbers if we, are missing a big chunk of the revenue from the membership that was paid before June or before July. So we are looking at apples and oranges. Be very interesting to see, even though it's not the fiscal year is July to June, it would still be good to take a look at January through December and see where we land. Because the rate changed this year. And that revenue will help us understand how much more revenue did we generate from the season pass holders. I think the same should apply for the greens fees as well, right? So we have some sort of a comparison because the greens fee rates also changed this year.
So I think we'll be able to see, based on what Mark has, some of what Mark has provided, how the cash is flowing so far this fiscal year. So at this time last year, we were running a little bit behind, I think. But we'll be able to, I think if we start walking through this, we'll be able to see where we stand so far. But you're exactly right, Usha, that's the hard part.
Yeah.
Wish if I can just try to get my head around. So are you saying or implying that because we have a fiscal year that starts July 1st, where rates increased, we're looking at it though at a calendar year of January to December, and we're missing half of the year was on 24-25 rates, and the other half is on 25-26 rates.
But also, take me for as an example. I know we paid our 2025 membership sometime in March, April, but that's not accounted for. So there are many people, and this is what Eric pointed out earlier, is that the total revenue of 60,000, 61,000 in the season pass numbers do not account for those who paid prior to July 1.
Exactly.
So that is causing the discrepancy for us at this point. So, I mean, the ideal way to do this would be to tease out and pull out those who already paid prior and account for that in the season pass holder revenue. Because, a question, Eric and Todd, when we look at the season pass holders, the total number of holders, that includes the people who paid in March, April, May, right? If that's included, then we're artificially lowering our revenues because that's not included in it. So I think the ideal way to look at this would be to map out the new rates and the membership holders that account for that. And that will give us, on average, what is the cost per round with that season holder category.
Yep.
So we just need to clean up the data a little bit. And I'm happy to help if there's anything I can do to help. I mean, I live in the numbers world. So I'm happy to help. If you need some help, dump the data into an Excel sheet and send it to me and I'll clean it up.
Is there a reason why, and I don't know, maybe just because of an accounting reason, you couldn't sync up your fiscal year with your rate when your rates get adjusted? That's when the fiscal year starts. Like put those two on the same date.
That would be ideal, Bruce, because that also correlates to the greens fees, right? Because greens fees were different, and whenever we started that starting point could become our
run your fiscal year from July to July, I mean, or wherever that date is. So these two things kind of coincide, because it just seems, just listening to you, it just creates a huge accounting nightmare or headache to have halfway through the year, the rates change, and one half of the year is this rate and the other half of the year is that rate. And the fiscal years, nothing's lining up with itself. So it's making your ability to forecast and really figure out what's going on just a headache. Now, maybe there's accounting reasons you did this, or I don't know what the reason is, but is it possible to realign these, or change some, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think
Well, we decided a few years ago to have a rolling membership because if when we were on a calendar year season pass schedule, after June, we would get no one to join, nobody, and so we went to a revolving membership. So if you joined on August 1, your membership would be good until August 1 the next year. And so we saw the uptick, significant uptick in season pass revenue. And so it's not neat. It's not tidy. It's cluttered, but that's the reason why we did that.
So basically what you're saying is people psychologically, when they signed up for membership, they wanted a year membership. Whenever they signed up, if they signed up in October, they wanted a year, and that's kind of what you did. And so maybe there's a way of doing this behind the scenes where they don't actually see what you're doing. Like you pick, a date that's, I don't know, I can see why you had such a hard time trying to figure out the things because the numbers are changing all the time. So
yeah, right. The season pass membership numbers change month to month.
right.
Whereas previously, to Todd's point, after June, somebody was like, well, geez, it's already July. There's no sense in me becoming a season pass holder because, come March or whatever it was, April 1st, I have to buy a new membership. And that helped to increase our season pass holders significantly. And, the fiscal year is set by town charter. I mean, we can't change, I can't tell finance, well, we're going to change our fiscal year.
It's going to be August to July.
Yeah. Yeah. And Bruce, Councilor Jones, I have to tell you that, it gets even more complicated when, Eric, Todd, and I are putting together a proposed budget for FYE 26. And I can tell you that it's due to the town manager on January 14th or 15th. And it's 4 weeks after that before we even have half our numbers that come from finance, like insurance and things like that. So, we're being asked to put together a budget with half the information.
Right. Yeah, no, I can see it. I mean, I often sit there sometimes frustrated trying to figure out, what's going on and how to do it. And I can see that this is a very unique kind of thing. And I understand also you can't prorate, right? The prorating process people just don't get it and they don't want to deal with it. I want to sign up for a membership and I want a year. And that's how my life.
Right.
That's
right. Yeah. And so when we're putting the revenue projections together, Eric looks at what we did for the last 6 months of the previous fiscal year and what we've done for the first 6 months of this fiscal year. And that's how we come up with our, so it does include revenue from season pass holders that made purchases in March and April, which was the previous fiscal year. That is accounted for when we're putting together our proposed revenue for the following year. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not asking you to change it. I'm just trying to get my handle around the complexity of this this issue, trying to figure out what you're doing. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get it. I see.
It's tricky.
It's very tricky. Yep.
Yeah.
I think, and Todd, tell me if I'm off on this. I think it was sometime in April when we started the new membership or people joining as new at the new rate. Is that true?
Well, Well, once the Golf Advisory Board decides on the rates, and it goes to the Rec Commission, and then it goes to the Town Council, then we have the new rates, and normally it is around end of March, beginning April-ish, and so if somebody joins now, they're joining on our current rates, but once the rates are ratified, then the rates change.
I think this is probably the only year where we'll struggle with this aspect, right? Because once this was where we had the mixed rates. Some members had the earlier rate, and then some members had the new rate.
Now that happens every year.
Every year.
No, it's been at least the past 3 years, right, Mark?
Oh, it's since I've been here, the rates have never been set by, it's always March. Our goal is like late March.
Well, no, that's right. Exactly
Yeah.
right. No,
Yeah.
no, exactly
It's
right.
always
Yep,
like that.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So I think if we could benchmark that point through the rest of the year, at least we'll have a sense of the revenue from the new rate.
So the information that you'd like to see would be from, say, April 1st through the end of July. I'm sorry, through the end of June. You'd want to see the number of season pass holders and revenue, but not include January, February, and March, because those were at the old rates. Is that what you're saying? I'm just trying to understand. I want to make sure that I give you the information that you're looking for, and so I'm just trying to get that clear.
I think, Mark, if we can do it from January on, but somehow flag when, so if April was when the rates changed, just to flag that starting April, the rate changed.
Okay. Yeah, it was. I think I re-listened to the council meeting, and I think last year it was on 3/25/25. So it was the end of March, and I think 2 days later we had the rates posted. So essentially it was April 1.
Yeah. So I think let's get the whole January to June, and then we'll look at what April through, if we can have the breakdown by quarter, because January to March, we know that was likely old rate. April through June would be the new rate. And if we can have the number of pass holders, number of green rounds, so similar report to what you have here, that might just help us mitigate this gap in the revenue numbers that we're seeing at this point.
Okay.
Todd, am I correct in recalling that I think my pass might have expired end of February, early March, but I wasn't able to renew it until the new rate came in April. So there was a time when
they put a pause.
Yeah, and that should be okay in the data. That should be fine. There should be no.
Right. So the rate kind of just pushed people into that new rate last spring, as soon as it was established.
And Marie,
too many of us that were lingering over.
You bring up another interesting point. During that time where there was a pause, people continued playing, but we didn't have revenue for that time. So we would have lost some revenue for a month or 2 months from season pass holders that played.
That's right. That's true.
Yeah, last year was a bit of a well, there was a lot of iterations of the rates. We'll leave it at that. And we weren't quite sure. We were talking about a lot of different things, and we didn't know exactly where we were going to end up.
Gary has a question.
everyone's
Gary?
quiet now, so I think I'll just speak. The I've often thought, a seasonally adjusted number would be nice, or some other you might find an artificial number, something like economists use to give you a number that doesn't exist in the real world, but explains a lot based on. So there might be something in that order that we could do that would, anyway, thank you.
Okay. Thank you for that. Okay. So we've got that information from last year. So what our rates were. Target of around April 1st. So the next thing we asked for, and thank you for getting this, was the fund balance information and how we did with that for fiscal year 25. And where we ended up at the end of last year. Even with the rate increases for those few months. I don't know, Mark, if you want to walk through that. Or
Sure.
Eric.
So let's see. Oops. On the second page.
On page 12 of the packet.
Yeah. I don't like them. Gets printed back to back, and I
Yeah.
prefer separate sheets.
Thanks, Usha. I was just about to do the same thing.
Oh, here we go. All right. So if we go to the overall conclusion, so the golf course fund balance finished FYE 25 with a net operating loss of 115,563.10. And that was driven by both higher than budgeted expenses and lower than budgeted revenue. Now, when I first got this report, and Eric and I talked about this, and I was like, how in the world did we spend $115,000 more than what we had budgeted? And what happened is there's a contribution from other funds that we didn't put money in, but that was from the previous year's fund balance to pay for the CIP. So that's why it looked like there was a net loss. And our revenue was only off by, what was it off by? Our projected, we had, our projected revenue budget was 1,731,000. It actually came in at 1,664,000. So when Eric did the estimates, we were only off by 66,432. So it wasn't, we were pretty spot on the projected revenue. But what threw us off was again the not having put the 200,000 in contributions from other funds, even though it was coming from our fund balance. We didn't put it in there, but we will this year so that it doesn't. We don't have the same impact of the budget. So our net, so our remaining fund balance, if you take out, finance wants us to have a 60-day operating reserve of 332, 379. So the remaining balance from the original 904, 116 leaves us with 451, 442. And we also have to account for the fiscal year that we're in now. We estimated that we would be using fund balance of 120,000.
That's right. To do the work on the course.
Yes.
Okay.
So, Mark, can you just answer me? Sorry to interrupt. Where does the extra balance come from?
So Bruce, in the last 5 or 6 years, we have had an excess of revenue over expenses,
Okay.
and that money goes into the fund balance account.
Okay.
And the last couple of years, the council has made the decision to
No, they didn't.
fund the CIPs through the fund balance account.
Okay.
No, I didn't.
Yes, he did.
As opposed to coming from the general fund
Yes.
and
Yeah.
having contribution, let's use up the reserves that you have and kind of take some of it from there. Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And in the last couple of years, has there been an excess of money coming from revenues
Up until last year.
up to last year? Okay.
Yeah.
And what sort of happened that caused that to have a loss?
Oh, so there's a line item, and I think it's contributions from other funds or something like that. And when we developed the budget, we put that in as zero. And when the council made the decision to fund the CIP through existing fund balance, that 200,000 got charged to that line item.
And you just went by it.
But we hadn't put any money in it. So it showed that we spent $200,000 more than what we had budgeted because we hadn't put anything in.
Oh, okay.
So this year we'll be putting in, I think it's 200,000.
And does that come out of these other lines of contribution? Is that money from golf, or is it from the town, or is
Oh,
it
no, that's it's coming from the golf fund balance.
golf fund balance? Okay.
Yeah.
Is that this one?
Payments from other funds. Yeah. Okay. So in reality, you if you just ignored that 200,000 for the moment, you had an excess of roughly $85,000. That was the excess, but you spent 200, hence having the 115,000 over. Is that kind of
Right.
right?
Yeah,
That's probably
Eric
right.
manages the budget to our expenses, and we hadn't accounted for the $200,000. So yes, the overall budget, we were within $85,000.
Okay. So if you had moved it over, you would have been in the black, but because you didn't move it over, you're in the red.
Yeah.
But but you spent as if you had moved it over.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's basically what happened. Okay. But in either way, it wasn't like a net revenue equaling expenses. There was you had a shortfall of, I guess, the 66,000 or 85,000 or whatever.
Yeah, the 66 was what the 66 was the difference between what we had projected and what was actual.
It was actual. Okay.
Yeah, we were.
You're pretty close.
Yeah,
you're
given
pretty
the
close.
size of the budget, I didn't
Yeah.
calculate what that 66,000 was, but we were only off by a couple of percent.
Right.
I shouldn't take credit. Eric's the one that put that together.
Yeah. But you had kind of assumed that there was extra money in there and did CIPs or whatever it is that you did at the 200,000, but it got caught kind of now. It's gotten caught now.
Yeah, and I'd have to go back to the previous year. I can't recall if the CIP was funded through the golf course fund balance or whether that came from taxpayer, the general.
I think we did the previous year. I think we did some, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember. So that could be why we hadn't put the 200,000 in the contributions line item.
Because you kind of assumed it might have been coming from the general fund and just didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wait, this is us, not them.
Yeah,
Okay.
when we prepared the budget, the CIP fund was going to pay for it. And then after the budget was done during deliberations, they moved it, charged it to the golf course fund. So that's why it was never accounted for.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if it was accounted for, we would have shown a net profit of 85,000 for the last fiscal year.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. Yeah, and that's what makes sense. That makes sense to me. I think that's what I just thought. Okay. Okay. Cool.
At some point, we need to continue to look out into the next couple of years to the work that needs to be done, including the replacement of that irrigation system, which I believe is going to be handled separately, but
Yeah, Eric is working on getting some more solid numbers for a full replacement, or also looking at partial replacements.
Yeah.
Just so that
By
we have
doing-
because the number that we've floated out there is I think a few years old.
right. Yeah. So it's makes me a little nervous anyway, going year to year. Which I know is, part of being part of a town, but having the money there to make sure that we can continue to do these improvements, especially some of these that need to be done. Not just nice to haves.
Yeah, with some of it locked up in the 60-day operating reserve,
Yep.
which is a fiscally responsible thing to do. That does cut into what we have, and if we take another 200,000, assuming our revenue meets our projections, for next year, if we take another 200,000 out, that leaves us with a little over 200,000. So, this model is not sustainable in the long run.
Mark, I raised this at the last meeting with the funds that were approved by taxpayers for the Fitch High School stadium, football field stadium. I believe in that text of the referendum or documents about it was that if Park and Rec did not use all that money, it would be put towards other Park and Rec projects possibly? Was that? And
Yes, that's correct.
and also, so that still kind of sits out there as a maybe, not for sure, but is there not a next year, or is there also gonna be another referendum for Park and Rec improvements, Sutton Park?
Yeah, so just to back up, if
And then my question is, could we bundle the golf course somehow into these referendums that taxpayers, um, you know, will be, possibly approving?
right, we
Park
wouldn't be
and
able to, we couldn't bundle into the first referendum because the language in that was pretty specific. It was for athletic fields. So if there was money available after all the work that was approved to do at the high school, if there was money available, that would be moved towards phase 2 of the athletic fields replacement, which is work at Clark Chester School. But if the second referendum moves forward this year, depending on the council and the RTM, it could be possible to include the irrigation system in the second referendum.
I think if indeed it goes in that direction, I think we could get a lot of support from our, resident golfers to support that.
Yeah.
Yep. And then just pointing out on pages 20 and 21 of the packet, are the costs for the CIPs for the next, or the estimated costs for the CIPs for the next couple of years. Just to give you an idea, good, and given the information we just got. But yeah, and then Marie to that. Okay. But I think this information helps us out a lot. Any other information we think we need or want to add to this as we start to dive into the discussions further?
If I, Margaret, may just pose a question. When were these numbers figured out? Or maybe Mark knows the answer to this. For these different renovations and improvements in irrigation, how far back were these numbers figured out?
Eric, Eric usually puts together the CIP, so he might be able to better answer this question.
The CIP projects, we just take a chunk of money and we do as much as we can. So it's kind of estimated based on the last year's project, how much we can do.
Okay.
And the irrigation system number was a quote that I got, I want to say 2 years ago. Okay. So that needs to be updated.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking at what we're seeing happen with like Sutton Park, and even with the bond for Fitch the Fields, is that the numbers are going up so rapidly in terms of our estimates and
right
to go out. it's a little frightening in terms of trying to come up with a number because by the time it sort of works its way through the system, they're quite a bit higher. So
We've been fortunate to work with the same contractor for all of our projects out on the golf course. So
okay.
it's been a very stable relationship. So a lot of those cost prices don't change very much.
Okay. And then that would include the irrigation number, I think, in there also. Is he would be
No, that's not
okay.
that one. Just all like bunker and tee improvements.
The bunker stuff. Okay. Yeah, I know. I don't know when you want to update that, but just that's certainly what we've seen on our end. It's
Yeah,
just
I'm working on that right now.
okay. It's a little hard to sort of figure out and budget. So
Especially when the projects, you don't know how many years you got to wait to start it or if it gets approved. So
yeah. Okay.
Did we decide on rates? What happens to rates?
No, that's the elephant in the room right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't know, Todd, were you able to get any rates from area golf courses?
Well, the area golf courses, I mean, they don't project future rates. We're always the first ones to project new rates for the upcoming season. So, the information that I had is the same information that I provided to this group last year. So I'll resend that, Mark, to you tomorrow with the revenue report. But no, I mean, we increased our rates considerably over our competition this past year, and so you all can take a look at what I'll send, but yeah, we increased our rates considerably over our competition
Still below Norwich.
over last year.
We're still below Norwich and we're still below Elmridge, I think.
I don't think so,
I don't.
Yeah.
but I'll take a look. I'll take a look at that, Margaret. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think we're lower than Elmridge. I played there last year. We were higher than them.
But the season pass rates, not the greens fee.
No, greens fees we were lower.
Okay.
I mean we were higher, but I don't know the season pass.
Season pass
Yeah.
rate.
So
Oh yeah, we are still lower than because season pass rate at Norwich is 21.70. And we're
Okay.
we're still at 1780 or whatever the number is. So we're still $300 less, $400 less.
I was thinking more on daily fee prices, but
Oh yeah, daily
yes.
daily fee.
No, you're right.
Yep.
So yeah, so this is the time of year that we have that conversation where this board gives me some sort of direction for what they want to see. Do you want to see a 3% increase? Do you want to see a 5% increase? Do you want to see an increase in daily rates? Do you want to see an increase in season pass rates? And so this is the time that we do that. So, yeah.
Yep. So we'll start collecting that information. I still have those files from last year that have the rates from last year.
Yep.
Which I can share.
Norwich has, I'm sorry, Elm Ridge is higher than us, but Saturday, Sunday is 2 p.m. for limited members.
Yeah, and they're $2 less than us for 18 holes on the weekend.
They also have 27 holes, correct? So, I mean, the
Not
offering there
anymore.
being,
No, they're down to 18 because they put a solar field.
No, they
for the
didn't.
nine.
That didn't go through. No, I
Didn't
live
go
right
through?
down the road from Elmridge.
Oh, there
No,
you go.
they still have
So
that.
it's still 27 holes? Yep, there you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
so
Cool.
50% more of a, like at least a real estate offering, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you can get out
There-
anytime.
Well, one of their courses is so crappy. I mean, there's really no grass.
Yeah, but they charge $52 for 18 holes on the weekends.
Yeah, there's no grass to play.
But
And we charge
the argument
54.
here being membership, correct?
No,
Is that
greens,
what
I'm looking
what
at
are we?
greens fees. Yeah.
Okay. So when we get back to membership, is membership more? Like, I
Season
mean, I
pass.
don't, not to say that we have to go there, membership, season pass, whatever we want to call it. And they also, if I remember correctly, I've only been there about like 50 times, but there's a range there, correct? That you can
Yes.
purchase baskets and
Yep.
hit. Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, their season pass is $2,000 a year.
Okay. All right. Yeah. With all those amenities included.
Yes.
Well, I would assume I would assume.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know if it's included or not. Doesn't say.
I'm fairly certain it's included. I don't want to, incriminate myself here, but I think it is.
So they're
Well, I'm sure you have to pay for the use of the range if they have a range.
yeah. And their season pass is $200 more than ours. Okay. So I think if we can start to get some of those numbers, I'll pay attention. I'll pull the file from the tables from last year that have the rates summarized.
I'd be curious
Get those
too,
marked.
like for the rates, like just look, because I think, Todd's, pretty accurate. I mean, you're not going to really find rates for 2025 yet. Like no one's got those
Or
out, right?
26. No,
Oh,
but we
yeah.
can start
I
with
mean,
the 25.
26. I mean, 26, right?
No, we'll
But
start with the 25 and we'll update because
Yeah.
I think the file that I had last year also summarized what was included.
okay. And then what percentage did they go up?
But as soon as they start publishing their rates, we can start amending those files.
Because I think the
They
percentage that we
typically
went up
don't.
was quite a bit.
Correct. They don't typically publish their rates until like March. So we don't know what they're going to do until like March. But we make a decision in typically February.
Yep. So we
So,
just need to kind of predict based on rounds and things like that, what revenue we need.
Todd, you might not have been in the meeting at the time early on when I said that I saw a few courses that are doing locally are do dynamic pricing for off times, off season. Is that anything that you think would have any benefit to look at?
Marie, we did that. We were doing that a few years ago, and then we found that we didn't need to lower our prices. We could still fill the tee sheet all day long at one rate.
Hmm.
And the other part of
that is
dynamic pricing is if you want a 7:40 tee time every week as a member, you could have a different membership class that would allow you to get the 7:40 tea time or 7:40 to 9 o'clock tea time every Saturday. So that's the other part of dynamic pricing is you pay for the higher demand.
Yes, yeah, I saw
So,
that. Definitely.
yeah, no, dynamic pricing is useful if you have dips in demand, but we don't.
Okay.
We are busy from first time to last time, and so we charge full price first time to last time.
So, Margaret, yeah, let's wait to get some of that information to get an understanding of where we stand with the lower season pass holders, but higher pricing and higher greens fees, just to get a sense of it. The other question, I think, Madeline, you raised it earlier. Are we also considering changing the timing for Saturday, Sunday for limited pass holders? It's just a decision that just needs to be made.
And Margaret, I think one other item that needs to get discussed is the tournament rates. We lost tournaments this year, and I think Todd has those details. But we lost 3 tournaments, which I think ended up a net loss in revenue of, I don't know, Todd, do you remember those numbers?
$22K.
Okay. And the
Something like that.
Yeah. And the increase in tournament fees netted us significantly less than $22,000. So I think that's something that the Golf Advisory Board might want to explore.
Todd, I'm asking from a place of ignorance. Is that because less tournaments happened, or is it because less people participated in tournaments?
It's because we jacked up the tournament prices so significantly that there were tournaments, there were directors that could not make the numbers work.
Yeah.
And so we lost them.
They went out of place.
So then the question I have is, were the greens fees that were collected on those Fridays, did they not come up to those numbers?
The greens fee numbers never come up to a tournament a tournament number. The tournament number is always so significantly more than what a normal day is, even though Friday is a very big day. But a tournament day is $2,000 more than what a normal, greens fee day is. At least.
Okay, so we'll talk about that. And I think the other one that I think we need to talk about is the league rates. I think the league rates also probably need to be moved up a little bit. Especially
Well, we
since
moved them up from last year, I think.
No, we didn't. In the end, we did not. So, I think they need to go up.
Okay.
Especially, yeah, they made an argument for themselves and we proposed, and then the Parks and Rec department moved them back down.
Can you
Or
clarify what
Parks
you're
and Rec
referencing?
Commission, sorry, not department, Parks and Rec Commission moved them
What
back
are
down.
what are league rates?
$27.
Oh, is that for the cart you're talking about? Or
Hmm?
what are you talking about? League
The
rates?
9-hole league rates for the afternoons and for the
Oh,
mornings.
okay. Oh, okay.
Does that include
EB
card?
League, EB League, and the
Oh.
Pfizer League.
Oh, okay.
And
And I
does that
think that
include card or no?
it does not.
No, I think they were $22 is what it
Okay.
was, I think, this past year.
Okay.
Yeah, and it went up to 27.
Oh, okay. I stand corrected. But given that in the afternoons they take 3 hours to play, and there's
Mm.
probably people who would love to get out and play.
I know. Yeah.
Well, we're not going to do away with our leagues.
No, you're not going to do away with the leagues, but it's lost revenue for if they are taking 3 hours to play.
I would like to state
Margaret,
also.
I mean,
Sorry, Todd. Go ahead. Go ahead, Todd.
go ahead.
I was just going to say that going back to, I know this is a ways back, but the even within the window of $5.82 per membership round, considering that we have leagues that take 3 hours to play, is very interesting to me. I would love to see how that math figures out if someone has the data available. Because I doubt that comes from the morning. I would highly doubt that.
It's not the
I,
morning.
okay. Yeah, I didn't think so. I've been crunching the numbers for a bit, and I just can't seem to compute it.
We don't have Monday through Friday. We don't have, we don't have people banging down the door to play. So we charge 22, and then we have $5 subsidy or whatever for the league guys. And I like our league guys. I like the fact that we are that we are part of a military and industrial community. They're important to me, and I think that they're important to the golf course.
100% agree. But you have other season pass holders who would love to be able to play on a workday afternoon.
Well, wouldn't
They're
that,
able to play on the backside.
but even if they did, wouldn't that reduce the round rate? Like, I mean, I don't mean to beat this point to death, guys. I'm just trying to make it very clear
Oh,
that, like, I'm sorry, $5.82 per round
no.
is just,
These would be people like Tyler St. Louis who works a 9 to 5 job who doesn't get out chance to get out and play.
I
No,
understand that.
but
My question would be, is who are the other people?
The fact is that our members are able to get out, and usually they come out and maybe they putt a little bit, but then they're able to get off the back. So they're not turned away. So that's not an issue.
All right.
Okay.
This year I will refer everybody to you, Todd. This is good. Okay, cool. Just telling you what I'm hearing. All right. Any other topics?
Just
So
quickly, can we have a status of the software, ProShop software? Where we stand with that?
yeah, we are going out to bid again.
Okay.
Margaret,
Yes.
we had a joint meeting with the Parks and Rec Commission scheduled for January 28th, but I'm getting the sense that the GAB is not going to be ready, is not going to have a proposal put together by the 28th. Is
No,
that
I don't, so
a fair assumption? Okay.
it's a fair assumption.
Okay. So I can't remember if we have a February meeting or not.
We do.
Okay. All right. Then I think what I'll do is move the joint meeting, because the Parks and Rec Commission now meets at the end of the month. So it would be the end of February that we would have the joint meeting.
Okay.
Just a quick question. Is the general sense that we need to increase the season pass rate and the greens fee rates? Is that generally what this group feels?
I believe the answer is yes.
Everyone else feels the same way as Margaret?
But I haven't looked at the budget, the number, I haven't done the number crunching yet completely. But I'm expecting that the budget went up, right? Some amount.
Yeah, like
And
I
we
said,
came in below.
like I said earlier, we're in this situation where we're asked to put together a budget, and the memo that I send has a lot of blanks in it because by January 15th, Eric and I don't know what some of those numbers are on different line items. So it gets filled in as we go through the whole budget process. It's kind of crazy, but
Yeah.
Mark,
I
when
think
you
until we see-
rewatched the council meeting,
yeah.
did you find the part where they might have prognosticated what they wanted to do this year?
I did, Eric. Boy, you threw me a softball. Yeah, so Councilor McBride, and this was the meeting on 3/25/25. Councilor McBride said that he would expect a 3 to 4% increase per year. That was specific to residents.
And that's both the season pass as well as the greens fee.
Yeah, I keep a spreadsheet of the change from year to year, and pretty much last year, residents went up, whether it was a weekend, a weekday, went up around 7%, and non-resident rates went up around 10%. I mean, there was some fluctuation in that, but generally that's what it was.
Okay.
In our March minutes that we approved in the December meeting, it was in our GAB minutes that based on the percentage of what the town council said for Groton residents, non-residents would be normed off of that and they had the percentage in there. So if we look at our March 2025 minutes that we approved at the last meeting, there was clear language about what the council had required.
Yeah, I think that was for this year. Well, I'm sorry, the year that we're in now was, around 7%, I think, for residents, and between like 10 and 15 for non-residents. But I don't know that that's sustainable year after year.
Right. I don't either. But
I think we could price ourselves right out of the market.
Yeah, agree. And I think this is sort of where my head is that we need to make sure we balance the budget, but we don't price ourselves out. So we really need to think about where that rate increase will actually help us get more revenue.
Yeah.
And where that increase is actually not going to contribute much, and therefore we really should rethink whether we just do a unilateral increase, because that's one way to kind of manage expectations from people.
Right. But we just took a look at where we are with the fund balance, where we are with the need improvement projects. We need to wait on what Mark and Eric come up with for the revenue. And I think that that will drive us. And then where we were last year in coming in with a little bit of a loss, I think everybody was kind of hoping that there would be not a loss. And that's the kind of the mode that we're in at the moment, with even with the increases from last year. If we hadn't increased last year, imagine where we would be. And then we also need to remember that we may be looking at adding additional season pass numbers back into the mix here. So there's a lot of number crunching to be done between now and February.
And the only other piece I'd add to it is we should consider and reconsider maybe a payment for members or anyone who books a reservation and is a no-show. Because that's a source of revenue. At this point, we cannot not put that on the table. I'm not saying we should do it. I'm just saying we should think that through to see, because that's lost revenue.
Right.
Well, we don't have a lot of that, but I mean, we do certainly have to take a look at how that is going to be enabled, because there are issues as far as making certain transactions with people not in front of our counter. And so yes, certainly that's something we certainly have to talk about.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of homework to do in the next couple of weeks. Any other thoughts before we close out?
When's our next meeting? February
2nd.
Okay.
All right.
Groundhog Day. Just saying.
Okay.
All right. And a motion to adjourn.
So
Motion.
move.
Yep.
All
Second.
right. Meeting is adjourned, 7:45.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you,
Okay,
everybody.
good night, Pete.
Thank you.
Okay, good night, all.
Good night, everybody.
Nice
Good night.
seeing you.
Good night.
Night.